Thank you for joining us. Today we have an update on the Bearspaw South Feeder Main repair and impacts to citywide water service. We'll be hearing from Director of Capital Priorities and Investment, Francois Bouchard, and founder, Annex Ales, Andrew Bullied, who will speak on behalf of the Alberta Small Brewers Association. We'll hear the remarks and then there will be an opportunity to ask questions later. I'll now turn it over to Director Bouchard. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our latest updates on the progress of the Bearspaw water feeder main repair. My name is Francois Bouchard, Director of Capital Priorities and Investment for the City of Calgary. The early phases of construction on 33rd Avenue Northwest between 78th Street and 87th Street Northwest are now underway, and I'll speak about that work in more details shortly. I'd like to begin by saying that I know the upcoming water restrictions and construction work are a major disruption for Calgarians, especially those in the immediate vicinity of the repair site. We recognize that residents and community members have many questions and concerns regarding the impact and the ongoing construction activities. We've heard loud and clear the concerns from both residents and businesses, and the city has been actively engaging with them near the work site. We have been addressing concerns about noise, parking, pedestrian access, and also answering numerous questions from community members. To ensure everyone in the area is well informed, our teams are committed to providing clear and thorough updates, especially for those living in the vicinity of 33rd Avenue Northwest, as significant impacts are anticipated in the upcoming weeks. To support an open line of communication, the City will be hosting an information pop-up session on Friday, tomorrow, for the local community members only. We will reach out to the community members directly with specific details shortly regarding timing and location. We will have technical engineers, representatives from the community and business relations team on site to provide answers and information regarding worksite and repair locations, road closures and detours, parking and no parking areas, pedestrian routes and access, construction plans, waste and recycling bin locations, emergency response plans, and engineering technical details. Teams will have maps to provide visual aids on site to walk residents through what the impacts will look like and ways to gain access to their homes. As already stated, early works have started along 33rd Avenue Northwest. Significant construction work in this area will begin on Monday, as well as beginning the feeder main repairs in Shoaldice Park later in the week. The work in Shoaldice Park will not impact traffic on 16th Avenue. There may be temporary impacts on Montserrat Drive, which is immediately adjacent to the repair location. With the repair work starting on 33rd Avenue, there will be no impacts to traffic on 16th Avenue Northwest until after the September long weekend. To briefly summarize, the initial work that crews will undertake in the upcoming days can essentially be broken down into 3 steps. The first step is preparation of the work site. This work includes paint markings on the roadway, the consolidation of heavy equipment and machinery on or near the site, the installation of fencing so that crews, equipment, and supplies have enough room to safely carry out their work, and the implementation of road closures to help facilitate this important work. Step 2 is saw cutting. As part of our preparation to begin repairs, crew have already begun sawing into sections of the pavement on 33rd Avenue Northwest. This process is the first step as part of the excavation process, which exposes the feeder main. And the final step is excavation, the next step, which involves crews removing sections of the road and materials underground to expose the feeder main, and that work begins on August 27th. At the same time, the Bears Paw feeder main will be taken out of service. And once all those steps are done, we'll be moving to the actual repair on the pipes themselves. As always, we ask that Calgarians stay away from the site and allow crews to safely carry out their work. Now, we've had some questions regarding the recent rail strike, and with this strike coming into effect, we've had questions about supplies and how it may affect the feeder main repairs. I am happy to say that the city has favorable supply to meet its water chlorination needs and a healthy existing inventory of other chemical supplies used for water treatment. The City of Calgary also has multiple contracts with chemical suppliers for its water treatment plants. The city buys the raw ingredients to produce its own chlorine supply on site, and these ingredients are delivered by truck. Most chemical supplies are produced within the province or stored locally in large quantities, with the majority shipped by truck. The city is monitoring our supply and does not foresee any short-term impacts. As a precaution, the city is bringing on additional stock where appropriate. Potential long-term effects are being mitigated through the city's supply chain resilience strategy. This includes leveraging our relationships with our suppliers and working with them directly to ensure supply is available. Now, in terms of road closures, in order to create a safe construction site for workers, areas of 33rd Avenue Northwest will be closed between 76th Street Northwest and 87th Street Northwest. The city has received several inquiries through our 311 channels regarding the right-hand lane closure of 16th Avenue Northwest at 43rd Street Northwest. The city made the decision to close the right-hand westbound lane of 16th Avenue Northwest, adjacent to the feeder main, until repairs along 16th Avenue Northwest begin. The lane closure was completed as preparatory measure leading up to the anticipated repair. We can now share the exact repair locations and approximate worksite locations with Calgarians for the work that will be taking place along 33rd Avenue Northwest between 78th Street and 87th Street Northwest and at Shoaldice Park. The blue line identified on the map is the feeder main. The pink boxes are the exact repair locations. The orange boxes outline approximate worksite locations. The worksite locations will be blocked off with fencing that will be beginning to be set up on Sunday, August 25th. Residents and community members in the repair area will be provided more detailed maps that include exact fencing location, pedestrian access, parking and no parking areas, temporary parking access, waste recycling and compost pickup stations, and more. These will be made available to residents and community members tomorrow, August 23rd. These maps will continue to be updated as the repair work begins, and we will be made available on our website later this week. I will now pass it over to Andrew Bullied, founder of Annex Ales.
Afternoon. My name is Andrew Bullied. I'm the Director of Operations at Annex Ale Project, a microbrewery here in Calgary that produces both beer and sodas. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of the Alberta Small Brewers Association regarding the water reduction methods being recommended to all Calgary small breweries. As many of you know, beer brewing and beverage manufacturing are water-intensive processes. At Annex, our typical water usage ratio is 5.5 liters of water for every liter of beer that we produce. This water is essential for cleaning, rinsing, sanitation, and filtration to maintain the high-quality standards we set for our products. When the feeder main broke this past spring, the Alberta Small Brewers Association quickly circulated a set of guidelines to help our members reduce and reclaim water in the brewing process. These guidelines highlighted simple but effective actions such as reclaiming rinse water from tank cleaning and can rinsing, and limiting the use of reverse osmosis water filtration unless absolutely necessary. At Annex, we implemented these guidelines and saw remarkable results. We were able to reduce our water usage from 5.5 liters per liter of beer to 3.5 liters per liter of beer, a 36% reduction. Over the course of the restrictions, this equated to a savings of approximately 90,000 liters of water. We're fully committed to continuing these practices for the duration of the Class 4 water restrictions and are exploring ways to make some of these changes permanent at our business. I encourage all small breweries in Calgary to adopt similar water-saving measures. Together, we can make a significant impact on the community's water conservation efforts. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Andrew, for taking the time to be with us today. Beginning Monday, we are again entering stage 4 water restrictions, where outdoor watering of any type is prohibited and reduced indoor water use is encouraged. I fully appreciate this is a significant disruption for Calgarians, and it will take some adjustments to your regular days. But I'll again remind Calgarians of a couple of ways to reduce water use in your home. Limit your laundry to essential and full loads. Only run your dishwasher when it's full. Limit showers to 3 minutes and skip a day if possible. Limit flushing to only when it's necessary. I know how challenging water restrictions have been for everyone, residents, businesses, industries, and our regional partners, especially since we've been under some level of restrictions since June 5th. I appreciate your frustration of us needing to go into another cycle of restrictions, but we are grateful for your understanding and support as we undertake these critical repairs to the Bearspaw South feeder main. At this point, I'll invite Jamie to the podium.
Opening up for questions.
Yeah, Mr. Bouchard, I think there's, as you know, as you cited, there's a lot of concern among residents about what this is going to mean for them. Will there be parking space provided to them nearby? I mean, some of these residents have said that parking space in Bowness is at a premium at all times.
Yes, thank you for the question. The question was, will there be parking for the residents that are impacted at the repair sites, of the construction sites? And the answer is, we are working through those details, and we will be able to provide residents with the specifics of options they have in terms of parking within their local community. And we will work through whether or not those solutions work for them.
Will there be any disruptions to water service for these residents in these areas? I mean, look at Bowness. Is that clear right now?
So in terms of water disruptions, water will continue to be available for those residents through the form of temporary services. So they will have access to water. The water that those residents also access is not provided directly by the feeder main. This is a localized water main that then feeds those individual homes.
So when you say temporary services, does that mean like a water wagon, or is it still coming out of their taps and they can drink their tap water, or is there another boil water advisory in place?
So just to be clear, the question was, will there be another boil water advisory? The answer is no. This is a planned response, and we can do these repairs without requiring any boil water advisory. In terms of temporary services, if it's needed, this would be surface piping that we put in place so that continued service can be provided.
Other questions? I have another question for this for Andrew. about water as it is the rail stoppage. I mean, we chatted about water restrictions, but we know in addition to water, you need barley to brew beer. Barley traditionally is transported by trains, which are not running. Just wondering what the impact is to the small breweries in Alberta with the rail stoppage.
Yeah, so I guess the question was about the rail stoppage and how this impacts microbreweries, especially in terms of our supply chain. I can't speak fully and completely to this because I don't have a full scope of exactly what our entire supply chain looks like. I do know a lot of our critical elements, such as barley, are grown and malted right in Alberta. We do rely on a lot of trucks to get things like trucks full of barley to our silos, and currently we're stocked up at Annex. I think the aluminum supply could be another issue. I guess we'll just wait and see. Thank you.
And so just, I guess, the impact to the brewery business with the water restrictions and now the rail stoppage, kind of how do you navigate that with so many unknowns in one year, in one summer?
It's kind of been like this since about 2020. So, you know, we've been facing a lot of challenges in our industry. We're always coming across the other side. Microbreweries are really resilient, and you know, we work really well together as an association. I think that the water thing is it's kind of the first and foremost thing. It's the most controllable thing that we can do as an industry. So I fully and completely encourage all microbreweries to step up and hit that 25% requested reduction from the city.
Mr. Bouchard, I'm just wondering how much have we learned about, you know, imposing these restrictions after we had stage 4 earlier this summer. Do you foresee more enforcement, for instance, in the use of outdoor water use, and will there be any change in how we expect indoor, like industrial, commercial indoor water to be used?
Oh, so thank you for the question. The question was quite extensive in terms of asking, have we learned anything from earlier this summer in terms of water restrictions, in terms of enforcement, and the level of compliance in both the outdoor water restrictions and indoor water reductions. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all Calgarians and businesses. Without you, we would not have been able to get through the early part of the summer, and we still need your help as we enter this new repair phase. It is important for those water reductions to be made, whether they're under the outdoor water restrictions or the voluntary indoor reductions that we're seeing, like with the breweries. In terms of compliance, we will always take a education approach first before using any of our available measures to enforce water reductions outdoors. And in terms of indoors, we have to rely on the spirit of Calgarians to continue to lean in and reduce their water use.
Other questions? All right. We'll see you next Tuesday at 2 p.m.